Hi everyone, my name is Elizabeth. My pronouns are she, her, and welcome to Savory Sewing. This is a Flosstube channel where I talk about cross stitch. And I've got a bunch of stuff to show you here today. If you are also so inclined, you can find me on Instagram also at Savory Sewing. So what I'm going to do today, so it is January, no, it's February. It is February 10th, 2024. This is Flosstube number 16. And I have I'll wrap up some January stuff because I think my last video was before the end of January. So I just wanted to touch on my January stats and then talk about what I've been stitching so far in February and then what my plans are for the rest of the month. So with that, so in January, I had 3 finishes, and so I will pop a picture of them in here. And I worked on, I forgot to count. How many different projects did I work on in January? I worked on 11 different projects. I had, as I just said, 3 finishes, 5 new starts. I also accomplished my WIPGO goals, and so I'm pretty sure I showed one of them in my last video. The WIPGO calls for January for me brought up a pattern called Santa's Trips by Barbara Anna, which I showed my last video. I had already met that goal. And then the other one was Come to the Garden by Teresa Corbett. So I'll put a picture in here of what the whole thing's going to look like. And then I've got it right here so you can see where I got. So my WIPGO goals for 2024. So if you don't know what WIPGO is, it's basically a bingo board for your whips or whatever else you decide to put on it. And then Jessie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff calls numbers every month. And those are your tasks, is to do whatever you put on your board for those numbers. And so my board is a combination of all of my lingering 2020 and 2021 whips, and those all have finished goals. And then my 2022 whips that are left, my goal is to work on them for 3 days, for the month in which they're called, and they're all on my board twice. So I'll put a picture of my WIPGO board in here. This is what January looked like. And so I finished Santa's Trips, and then this has Come to the Garden by Teresa Corbett. I think I probably already put the pattern up, but if not, here it is again. And this is where I am at the end of January. So you can see I am working on that bottom corner, and I'd like to get the bottom corner done. So for February's WIPGO numbers, this actually also got called, and so I haven't worked on it yet in February, but it's going to get 3 more days this month. So this is a little preemptive planning because I'm not going to show this again. But my goal is to get that bottom corner done because I really want to stitch this big flower. It's super pretty. So I'm hoping by the end of the year I can have at least all of that done. So this is my first time doing WIPGO, and so far so good. My other WIPGO call I will show you when I get to the whips because I did work on it. It is a pattern called A Stitch for Sweet Freedom by Lindy Stitches, and so I've worked on that for 1 day. So I'll show you that here in a minute. But first, I'm going to put that down on the floor. I'm going to switch to the things I've finished so far in February. So I've got 3 finishes so far on the 10th of February, and that feels really nice. The first one is this. This is a pattern by Janine McGowan from the Blue Flower. Right? That's the right Janine, yeah. And it is called Starry Moth. It was in the October 2024 issue of Just Cross Stitch magazine. And it's so pretty. There was a stitch along for this, Starry, #Starry Moth, SAL. And so there's a number of folks who are stitching this and have finished it. I'm just going to put it up close because it's so pretty. It's stitched all in the called for DMC, and there's some specialty stitches in it. Those are some Algerian eyelets in the wings, and it's on 36 Count Erie by Forbidden Fiber Co. I love this fabric. It's actually purple and green. I just happened to pick a spot on the fabric where it was mainly purple. The called for was also purple, so super pretty. So finish number 1, Starry Moth. Finish number 2, I also really love this pattern. It is by Dirty Annie, and it's called Tell Me I'm Pretty. It says, feed me and tell me I'm pretty, and has this adorable little raccoon on it. And so I know I was almost done with it in my last video, and I finished this, I think on like February 2nd. What day did I finish this little guy? Oh, this is my January list. Let's pull up the right list of stats here, and I'll be able to get you accurate numbers. Yeah, I finished this on the 2nd of February. It's stitched on Dirty Chives as a Lugana, 32 count Lugana from Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. And it's stitched with mostly the called for. I know I had to make some subs because I didn't have the right colors. But it's charted in DMC and overdyes. But I just absolutely love this little guy. I'm going to frame him and hang him in my kitchen. Oh, so cute. So cute. All right. My next finish for February so far is actually start and finish. I am stitching on the Stitch Along by Dee's 20 Stitches, the Stitch for Pride 2024. They have charted, or will be charting, I'm not sure they have them all charted yet, a motif every month based on a LGBTQIA artist. And so there have been 2 releases so far, February and January and February, because that's where we are in the month. And I just finished February. So here is, so this was January's. This was based on artwork by Keith Haring. And then this is February's that I just finished. Look how beautiful that is. That's by Kawinde Wiley, who also did the portrait for Barack Obama, for his presidency, that's hanging in the, I don't know, is it in the White House or is it in the National Gallery? Whatever. It's beautiful. And they didn't, I mean, this artist is a portrait artist, so obviously they weren't going to be charting us, a portrait. So this is in a, there's a lot of flowers and vines and nature in their art. And so this is inspired by, and it's absolutely beautiful. So I'm stitching this as a one big spot sampler. Some folks I've seen are stitching each motif separately, but I'm going to stitch it all as one big sampler. This is a fabric called Elegant by Fortnite Fabrics. I don't think you can get this anymore. And I'm stitching it with all of the flosses, okay, that were hand dyed by, you can see there, KN Yarns Knitting Nurse Jasmine, or Knitting Nurse Jasmine Knitting Nurse on Instagram. And Flosstube. And so look how beautiful they are. I'm trying to be very careful because I have the names of all the artists on here, and we were asked not to share those, so not to spoil it for folks if we were lucky enough to get that the flosses. But aren't they beautiful? I think the one right here, I think this is January's. Yeah, this is the January floss, and then this is the February one we just used. I guess I can show you this because you already know the name of it. You already know his name. But look at that. So beautiful. I'm really excited. I can't wait to use this hot pink. But yeah, so excited to have that done. Excellent learning also put out by Dee as part of this. You're supposed to do the learning and then do the stitching, and luckily a lot of it's videos, so you can listen or watch the videos while doing the stitching, which is really nice. So there's a lot of really beautiful versions of both of these that are popping up all over Instagram as well. With folks who've used there was a limited number of these flosses, and so folks have chosen their own, and some of them are really, really beautiful. And then also, I believe you can maybe still get the fabric, but Jessie from Mislaid Pages also specialty dyed fabric for this Stitch Along. And I think they might still have some, I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, very excited. So this is my 3rd finish so far for February. All right, let's move on to works in progress, or WIPs. So I have worked on a number of things so far this month. First one, I'm actually pretty proud of how much I've gotten done on this. So as many of you know, I am working on Dark Queen of the Earth by Autumn Lane Stitchery. And she was sorely lacking a head for a long time. In my last video, she had a head and some hair, and now she has even more hair. I have finished all of her hair down here. I worked on her last Saturday. I have not worked on her yet today. Generally, I work on her on Saturdays. I would like to have her finished by the end of the month because I would like to start another Fancy Lady in March. And so that's my carrot to get, or my carrot stick to get her done. But look how beautiful she is looking. This is the hair from the green skin version. And then my face is going to be a combo of the alternative face and the brown skin face. I'm modeling it on what Tara from Wild Woman Crafts did for her face because I liked the way that turned out, although she used the other hair. So we'll see how this works. I think there's some bits where I am just making it up because the jaw lines don't match. So I think it'll all be fine in the end. But right now I'm just kind of making it up. But look how beautiful she is. And so she's stitched with all the called for DMC. And this is on one of the fabrics that was dyed for the stitch along by Under the Sea Fabrics. So look how gorgeous she is. Can't wait to have her done. I will not have the beading and the back stitching done by March. I've already resigned myself to that fact, but that's okay. If I get all the other stitching done, I'm gonna feel very accomplished. This is probably the biggest thing I've ever stitched, so it feels good. All right, so my next project, so this is my Whip Go project by Lindy Stitches. I'm going to show you the pattern right here. This is a stitch for sweet freedom. It says a stitch for sweet freedom and one for being kind, two more for diversity, the last for a humble mind. I started this, I think, in July of like 2022, maybe? Must be, because all of my Whip Go pieces are 2022 whips. And this is where I am. So I started down at the bottom, right, because I wanted to start working on this beautiful dress. And this is 36 count acid wash by Forbidden Fiber Co. And I am stitching it with, it's not all the called for. It is fancy floss that is similar in color because I think I didn't have everything, or it's the DMC that's called for. So the skirt, I mean, you can see that her dress this is much more of like a sky blue, and I'm using more like of a dusty blue. But I'm really happy I had a lot of that skirt done the other day. I just sat down and watched Flosstube and just stitched away for 4 or 5 hours to get where I am. Because before that, I think I'd had a couple words in the star and like maybe the bottom half of the skirt. So this is 1 day worth of progress. She's going to get 2 more days in March or in February this month to meet the Whip Go goal. So I don't think that will be a problem. And I'm pretty happy with the amount of work that I've gotten done. I'd like to get the whole dress done this month, or all the way up to where this flag is. And then that's probably about half the pattern, because her bodice and head, that's pretty stitch heavy as well. But if I get this much done and maybe get some more of the words done, which go really fast, I think I can get this one done this year. So that feels nice. So all right. My next project that I worked on this month, so I'll put a picture in here because there's no, this is a digital pattern. This is the Stitchery's journal. I'm also going to put the name of the Instagram account here because I always forget. It's like the Tira Zane Initiative, something like that. It'll be here. I started this for Julian Stitches 16's birthday. The hashtag is, oh goodness gracious, CCC with Julie Sal, CCC for Julie Sal, something like that. And I forgot what the C's were on my last video and had to type them in, and you think that would have clicked something and I'd remember this time, but I have not. So anyway, her birthday sale was to pick something for a cause that you cared about, and so I picked this pattern that was on this Instagram account. Stitchery is a I don't know it's a stitching style, which is basically cross stitch from Gaza, so, or Palestine. So this was beautiful. And so this is where I am so far. It also fits in with Julie's. Julie's trying to stitch a motif a week, and this is full of little motifs. And so I thought it was perfect to start for her birthday. I'm stitching this with all the called for DMC. So you can see I basically started with the red because there's the most of it, and I've just been jumping around stitching little motifs and adding in other colors as I go. This is stitched 1/1 on 25 count Lugana in the color Overcast, and it will fit in this hoop. So that's why I've got it in this hoop right now. I'm just going to stitch it in the hoop that it's going to live in. And I'm actually finding that stitching 1/1 on 25 count, as long as it's in a hoop, is actually something that I can do. I started stitching something on the same Lugana, but in a different colorway, but stitching it in hand, and my stitches were awful. But in this hoop, I think it's turning out really good. I think it's going to be super cute when it's done, and for a good cause. So you can still get this for free on their Instagram page if you're so inclined. All right. My next whip is by Modern Folk Embroidery. I'll put a picture. Actually, I could put a picture here, but I also have the chart right here. So here's the chart. This is a Dream of a Winter Garden. This was the like surprise bonus chart at the end of the 2022 holiday countdown sale that Modern Folk Embroidery, Roxy Floss, and Evertote put together. They do this every year. If you're interested in the 2024 one, I know is on sale now. And I just think this is beautiful. So I started it sometime last year, and I'd barely stitched on it. And so I decided to pull it out in February because it's, you know, wintry, and I just feel like I need to get it done. And so this is where I am. It is stitched on, this is 28 count linen from Seraphim Fabrics in the color, no. Hang on. This might be Needle Bling in, I've got the bag right here, I think. Oh, yeah. It is, yes, it's a limited edition in the colorway Pearl from Needle Bling Designs. And it's a 28 count linen, although it does feel pretty tight. So it might be a little bit higher than that, but it's labeled as 28 count. And that's, I had the bird done, or I had the tree done, and then I stitched all of this part the other day. So I'm stitching it with, so because this came with the Countdown Sal, which came with floss, they provided a conversion on the back using, if you wanted to use the rest of the floss colors from the floss pack. I think now if you buy this, they've converted it into Roxy Floss because a lot of the colors that were in the Countdown Sale are not in the permanent line. And so that's what I have. That's what these are. These are mostly from the 2022 box. I actually pulled a couple from the 2023 box because I know I'm going to run out of a couple, and I needed a green or something that I don't have here to be able to hit all the colors. But look at that little birdie, isn't he cute? And it does look different than in the picture. So the picture is a lot more, I think, aqua-y greens, and the greens in here are a little bit more like chartreusey, but that's okay. I still think it's going to be beautiful, and I really like the pinks that were in the 2022 sale. So the 2022 box. So I'm excited to get that done. So this probably won't come out again for a long while. Maybe it'll come out one more day this month so I can get a little bit more done. But it'll probably be on my whip go board next year because it'll be a lingering 2023 whip, hopefully, because hopefully the 2021 whips will be off the table, but we shall see. So there's that. All right. I just dropped something on the floor, so I gotta bend over, and I had neatly arranged all this floss to show you all, and then I just dumped it on my feet. So my next whip, this is a stitch along that I am working on with Stephanie from Cross Stitch the Globe, Allie from Allie Z is Crafty, Katie the Peacock Stitcher has joined us. There's a couple other folks on Instagram who are also stitching on this. But this is Moonglow by Nora Corbett, and the hashtag is Moonglow Magic SAL. And I will show you where I am. Ooh. Oh goodness, I dropped the floss again. Hold on. I'm stitching this on 28 count linen hand dyed by Rolanda in the colorway Olive. And so I'll show you the whole piece, and then I'll show you the stitching close up. So it's a really pretty bluey green in the spirit of the called for, which was Mediterranean Sea by Witchell. And I happen to have this in my stash and thought it would be good with the colors, so I will show you the stitching more close up. I started at the bottom on that gorgeous blanket of flowers. You can see this is her foot. And so I've basically been stitching just with the Karen water lilies so far. And so these are the colors that I've stitched with so far, which are just beautiful purple blues. And then this is chili pepper, and you can see there's some yellows and oranges and peaches in that. So really, really pretty, really loving stitching on this. There's some really beautiful versions of this chart on Instagram where folks have, changed the hair color or made other changes to like customize her, the lady in here to look more like themselves, which I think is like absolutely awesome. So, and the four of us, at least the folks I've chatted with, we're all stitching this on very different fabric. Stephanie's got this gorgeous Bestitch Me fabric. Ellie's stitching it on like a darker blue-green, but she might have changed it. I have to admit, I know she was thinking about changing it. And then Katie's stitching hers on like a lavender mauve color. So it's really, really, really beautiful, and really, it's going to be the same pattern, but there's going to, with the same flosses basically, but there's going to be so many different versions and interpretations of like moon glow. You know, you've got dusk or dawn or what have you. So excited to have worked on that for a day. I hadn't worked on it in a while, and I really would like to get it done. I just have a pile of other stitching to do. So, all right. Are those all of my whips? What's this one? What is this in this bag here? Oh yeah, I think that is everything on the whip side. I think I just have one more new start. I've had 2 new starts so far this month, but one I finished, which was the February stitch for Pride piece. And then my other one is part of my 24 new starts in 2024 goal. So I had identified 2 different projects every month, and I'll put a picture in here of the list of them. I still haven't figured out November, but I have some ideas. And in February, my 2 new starts are Red-Faced Warbler by Lindy Stitches and Moonshine Cabin by Modern Folk Embroidery. And I've started Red-Faced Warbler. So this is what it, look at that. There, this is what it looks like. This is from the Lindy Stitches Bird Crush Club. I would like to get all of these done this year. I have 2 more. This one, and then 1 more that I have slated to start later this year, and then I will have all 12 done. And this is where I am. I'm stitching this on 32 count Lugana from Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers, and the colorway is Summer Soiree. So you can see it's a pink, and there's a little touch of green modeling in it, which I thought looked nice with the fact that this is sort of red and green. And this is actually, it's hard to tell in the photo, is actually stitched on a very, very pale pink. It's, the called for is Baby's Breath by Seraphim. And mine's just a little bit bolder pink, but I think he's gonna, I mean, he's already showing up really, really well on here. I'm stitching it with all the called for, which is DMC, and then every kit, if you were in the club, came with 1 Threadworks, and so the red is the Threadworks, and so that's all the red that'll be in here. So I started him, and I think I should be able to get this finished this month, or at the very least, these birds don't really take too much time. They're nice and color blocked, and the words are fast, so I'm excited to have all of these done, hopefully this year. All right, that's all the stitching I've done this month. I know it's only the 10th, but it's still, I worked on a number of projects. I'm happy with the finishes that I got. I had a couple of days where I could get a lot of stitching in, so I was able to knock a couple projects off of my to-do list, which like Tell Me I'm Pretty and Starry Moth, I think I only needed like a day or 2 on each of those to get them done. So knocking down that whip list as I, continue to build it back up with new starts. All right, I have 1 piece of haul, and then I have something awesome to show you folks. So the only thing I've gotten this month is I switched Fabric of the Month clubs. I was in Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers Club for 3 years, which amazing. But I now have so much 32 count Lugana and so many beautiful colors that I do not think I will ever be able to stitch it all. And so I decided to switch to a different club and a different count. So I could now, I realized I need some like neutral fabric. And so I joined Bestitch Me as neutral club, and I'm getting 40 count linen. And this was the first one. And so this is Dusty Cottage, which is super pretty. So I'm really excited about this. I feel like it's neutral, but it's also really interesting. So I'm going to test this out. This is actually my first piece of the Stitch Me linen that I've ever had, because I don't Facebook very much anymore. So I know they do Friday night fight nights. I don't really like Facebook. I tried to join a couple of Facebook stitching groups, and let me just say, there's too much. I can't handle all the notifications. So I don't really Facebook. I know that takes me out of a couple, you know, some, I don't experience some things that other folks do, but I just, Instagram is good enough, is enough for me. I don't Facebook anymore. So anyway, needless to say, that was a ridiculous story, but, this is my first piece and I'm very excited to find something to stitch on this because it's absolutely beautiful, and to also build up a little bit more of stash of some neutral colors, because I do have, I should show one day like the rainbow of Fibralicious I have, because it is beautiful. But sometimes you just need, you know, a neutral linen. All right. Okay, so the other thing that I want to show you is right here. So Megan from Long Distance Stitchers is the Flosstube that she and her other friend Megan have. And then, oh goodness gracious, I forgot the name of the lady who is the Chinook crafter. I'm so sorry. I know your name. I just forgot it. Hosted a swap called the Kitted Up Swap, where you would kit up a project and send it to your swap partner. And so I've never joined a swap before, and so I decided that I was going to get out of my comfort zone and actually make some friends and join a swap. And so I joined, and I'll put a picture of what I put together. I got a lady named Joelle. She's Cross Stitch Joe on Instagram, and she had her one of the patterns that she had on her wish list was Modern Folk Embroidery's Real Comfort, which is a Jane Austen quote from Emma. And so I kitted that up, and I also ordered some, actually I think I still have the rest of it somewhere. I ordered Jane Austen fabric online, and made her a project bag and a needle book, and then kitted it up with the linen that she had on her wish list and some Threadworks floss, and threw some other goodies in there, and she got it and she liked it, so I'm happy about that. It was really fun to find fabric to make a project bag that would complement the project, and to put it all together. So but what I have here is what I received from my swap partner, who so I came home one day and I had a package in the mail, like a US Post thing. And I looked at the return address, and I maybe have said some very loud, holy crap things. And my dog like lost his mind, because he was like, what is going on? Why are you so excited? Well, my swap partner was Michelle from Bendy Stitchy. So I saw her name and I was like, well, this is probably going to be good. And it was better than I could have hoped. So this is my project. She sent me this beautiful sleeve, and the pattern that I had on my wish list that I'm so excited for, because I've been holding off buying this because I found this was my favorite pattern from, I think, last year's Nashville Needlework Market. I hadn't bought it yet because you all know, if you've watched me for a minute, you know I have a lot of witchy patterns, and I really don't need any more purple or witchy stuff in my life, but I need all of the purple and witchy stuff in my life. And so this is the pattern. This is Stitchy Witchy Bell Pull from Stitchy Pros. And she also sent the bell pull part. So I have all the pieces to put it together. This beautiful card, in which she wrote out why she chose everything, which was so lovely. This is the fabric. It is a 40 count Cecil linen from Seraphim, which, look how gorgeous that is. How beautiful will that be in the bell pull? It's even got, you know, hints of purple and gray in it. She sent me a number of floss choices, some black etoile. This is mostly a monochromatic pattern. I believe it's charted in Blackbird and Rainy Day from Classic Colorworks. Y'all know I do love me some Classic Colorworks Rainy Day. But she sent me 2 flower silks, which are beautiful, and then also this Fibralicious silk in Autumn Bliss. Look at that. And so what she wrote was a variety of choices: a purple silk from Stitchy Box, a red orange silk from Fibralicious, and a very cool uber variegated silk from Stitchy Box, and deep dyed yarns in case you want to take a different route with the colors. I mean, how gorgeous are those? And it doesn't stop there. There was also this. Look at this needle binder. Look at that little witch. I mean, I honestly don't really, I'm not going to use her as a needle minder. She's just going to sit. I have a lamp here that's got like a metal magnetic thing. And so she's just going to sit, hang out with me. But look how cute she is. Can't get her eyes to focus, but needless to say, she's very, very cute. And then there were also, oh, a little pair of scissors with some bling. So Michelle, I doubt you're ever going to watch this, but if you do, thank you so much. I was like giddy with glee when this showed up at my house, and my dog and my partner both thought I was losing my mind, and probably I was, but thank you. And thank you very much, Chinook Crafter and Megan, for hosting this awesome swap. I hope you do it again. I would love to do it again. So thank you very much. So with that, that is all of the stitchy goodness that I have. I'm going to talk very briefly about plans, and then I'm going to go thrifting with one of my good friends, and hopefully this will upload properly. So plans. I need to work on my other WIPGO goal, which is come to the garden. And so I've got 3, 4, 5 days of WIPGO to complete my WIPGO goals for February. I still have another new start planned for February, which is Moonshine Cabin. I need to figure out when I'm going to start that, make sure I did do a floss. I think it's far away right now. But I did pull some floss for that because it had not been sorted. Actually, you know what? I will show you. So here, this is Modern Folk Embroidery Moonshine Cabin. This is the fabric that I picked. It's a really pretty blue gray. I think it's Picture This plus something. Is it Mirage? Night Sky by Fiber on a Whim. I was completely wrong. And I also started pulling from my Roxy Floss stash from the 2 holiday countdown sales for it. And so these are what I picked so far. So I don't have enough to do all the colors. I'm still missing like a good yellow, and I need like a white, a more white. But so far I really like the way those look on this fabric. So that's what we're starting with. And that should be enough to get me started, and then I'll continue to add floss colors as I go. I'm not super picky about having every single thing I need to start a project when I start a project. I'm happy to, start stitching and then, get another color when I need to. So I will get that started. Tomorrow is the Superb Owl Stitchin'. That's hosted by Stephanie from Lindy Stitches and Kathy Haberman from Hands On Design. And so there was no way I was not going to that. I have a thing for owls, so I am very excited to do that and hopefully see some folks in the stitchy rooms. And I need to dig out. I actually have a Superb Owl Championship t-shirt that I wear on Super Bowl Sunday and have for a number of years now. I don't like football that much, and I think it's really funny that it's also the Superb Owl. One year, actually, my partner and I used to always throw the Super Bowl party at our house for many, many years. And one year, I can't remember who was playing, but it wasn't teams that like anyone that we were friends with like care about, which might also be, well, no, we have 49ers fans. We're on the West Coast. And so instead of a Super Bowl party, we actually threw a Superb Owl party where we had owl chicken wings, so we had owl wings, and I made like a veggie tray, like an owl. If I can find a picture, I'll put it in here. I'm sure I have a photo. Like, of course I have a photo. And I also made, so this might be gross for some folks, so just prefacing that, if you've ever like gone to like a nature center or what have you, or know anything about owls, you know that they like kind of like eat their food and then they puke up owl pellets. And when I was a kid in like a science class once, we used to get to dissect them, and they're really gross. Anyway, I think they're disgusting, absolutely disgusting. But I made owl pellet cookies, which were basically no-bake cookies because they kind of like fit the bill. And I was very proud of that. All right, that was probably more than you all wanted to know, but we had owl pellet themed cookies and owl chicken wings, and it was a very fun party. So I'm hoping to dig out that t-shirt from the bottom of my closet and wear it to the Superb Owl Stitching tomorrow. And I'm debating getting out some of my owl cross stitch and like hanging it up so I have a little festive owl nook to join the stitchy party. But we shall see. That means that would require rearranging some stuff, and I'm not sure how motivated I am. But anyway, I think that is all that I've got. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your month. I will see you hopefully in 2 weeks, which puts us at, what's today, the 10th? This is going to hopefully go live on the 11th, so it'll be the end of the month. If you're a Taylor Swift fan, I hope you get your Taylor Swift sighting at the Super Bowl party tomorrow. I am rooting for the Chiefs because in my house, I don't care. I'm actually a New York Giants fan. I'm from upstate New York, and they haven't been good in a long time. 2007, 2008? Is that when they won the Super Bowl last? Does Eli Manning even play for them anymore? I don't even know. But anyway, we do not cheer for the 49ers in my house. That is mandated by a person who actually cares about football. So we will be cheering for the Chiefs, and I will always be cheering for Taylor Swift. So there's that. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling at you now. I hope you all have a great rest of your month, and happy stitching, folks. See you soon.